Hello guys, welcome to our Discovery channel. In this travel guide and review video, I will tell you all you need to know about Mangrove Forest in Ko Lanta. Welcome to our Discover Thailand series. I have traveled all over Thailand for 12 months, and in this Thailand travel guide series, we will feed monkeys, swim with sharks, and of course, we will get to know the elephants, enjoy the beaches, hike mountains. We will also join the biggest water fight in the world. If you want to see all these and more, make sure you subscribe now and ring the bell to discover all about Thailand for free. Mangrove Forest is one of the top attractions in Ko Lanta. It locates between Saladan Pier and Old Town. It's pretty easy to reach here. You can take a tuk-tuk or a scooter, and it's around 10 kilometers away from Old Town or Saladan Pier. This forest is pretty famous because it has a big river passing through, and it makes it really easy to explore the forest. Also, the trees here, the roots are really interesting, so you should definitely check that out. And there are monkeys living in the forest, there are wildlife in the water, so you can fish, you can see jellyfish, so it's really interesting. There are a few different activities that can help you explore the forest. Some of them being long-tail tour, fishing tour, or kayaking. So when we come to the entrance, they give us all these different options, but we prefer to go with kayaking so we can explore it the way we want instead of follow up the organization. We pay 300 baht per person, and we rented the kayak for the rest of the day. There is no time limit. You can bring the kayaks back anytime you like. When you pay the money, the guide will take you to the river. They give you your kayaks, the equipment, and then they let you go. At first, I was worried that we will get lost in the forest because on the GPS, it didn't show any information. But the river is quite wide, and if you stick with the main river, it's not really easy to get lost. If you're exploring the side rivers and if you go deep, maybe you get a little bit risk, but if you stay with the main river, it just goes straight forward, and then in one section it divides to two sides. If you go to the right, where you come to the main sea area, it's open sea section, and if you go to the left, you go deeper into the forest. But also, on the other hand, if you choose the boat tours, I believe they also take you to the island, but I'm not really sure about this as I didn't go for the tour. I will tell you more about my experience, which is kayaking. We rented it for a few hours. We go explore around, and there were monkeys, trees. There was some really tiny rivers that is getting out of the main river, which we go inside, explore a little bit, and it was really nice. We saw two different jellyfish, which was definitely interesting. And we see monkeys, and what is really interesting, I think the monkeys here get used to the tourists coming around to explore. So as we were kayaking, the monkeys were checking us from the side of the forest, and if we were too close, they were getting into the water and start swimming towards us to come to our kayak and get some food or something. But we had lots of camera equipment, that's why I couldn't trust it. So we keep our distance, but we also see some long-tail boats coming close to the forest and letting the monkeys come up, let the tourists feed them. So unless you have something valuable to worry about, you can go close, the monkeys will come to your kayak, you can feed them. And also the nature is beautiful. The root of the trees, as I mentioned, is really interesting. Like it's like sticks out of the ground, so you can see all the structure of the root, and it's definitely interesting. This forest obviously is if you turn to the left from the junction that I mentioned. If you turn to the right, it comes to an open sea, and there are a few different islands in the distance. It looked pretty far for us, that's why we didn't kayak, especially me. I was with Julia, and unfortunately I was doing the most of the kayaking, so I didn't want to push my limits to go all the way to the islands. But if you have a time, and if you want to give full day for exploring with kayaks, you can go right to the open sea, and there are a few different islands there that you can go and explore. It wasn't really nice to swim in this area. We didn't swim because the water wasn't that clean. It was quite muddy, so I didn't feel confident, especially after seeing few jellyfish. I didn't feel that confident to jump in to swim. But if you dare to swim, you can also do that. One of the things that I didn't like about our day was there was too many speedboats and long tails, and they were making too much sound. So we went there to explore the nature and be part of the forest, but you couldn't have this calm moment where you are part of yourself and you just listen to the forest. There was too many boats passing by. Luckily, we just choose some small rivers, go inside, have this quiet moment for few minutes, and then even in the distance when the speedboat is passing by, you can still hear the sound. So that was the only negative side. But other than that, everything was good and I had a good time. I think the activity is suitable for everybody. It can be families, couples, single people, no problem. Because at the end, when you rent a kayak, you go to all day and you decide about your route. So you can decide how deep you're gonna go, how far you're gonna explore. So there is no problem. And the kayaks are really stable and the river is pretty safe as well. It's really calm, so there is not really danger and it's really suitable for everybody. Was it worth visiting in Ko Lanta? I think definitely. I spent a few days in Ko Lanta, I explored all around, and this activity was definitely one of my highlights from my trip. Considering the cost of this activity, it was definitely worth it. We only spent 300 baht per person and maybe a little bit of petrol money by driving the scooter there. And we had a great time. We ended up spending time with monkeys, being part with the nature, really nice day out, and we also get really good tan by doing so. So considering the money, it's definitely, I can give this attraction 4 out of 5 star. It's not the best attraction in Ko Lanta, but with the price comparing and the ease of doing it, it's definitely on top for me. So if you are in Ko Lanta, definitely check this out. And if you have any more questions, please write down in the comments and I will try to help you out as much as I can. In the meantime, if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I'm new to YouTube and I'm trying to reach 1,000 people. So if you subscribe, I will really appreciate it and hope to see you in the next video. Take care.